Check, 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 check. Are you here? I am here. Is anyone in the chat still? We're early. I'm never early, always late. Looks like Subaru is here. And Deshaun 2.0, 2.2.2.2 thinks it'll be exciting. Yeah, I suppose so. Let's see how it goes. So, it's 8 o'clock EST, New York time, Cleveland time. Yeah, so I want to get this out of the way first. If you missed it, it's okay. My friends will not stop harassing me about growing a beard. Years and years want me to grow a beard. My wife likes me clean shaven. I think I like me clean shaven. I look younger. I look better. But alas, they told me you got to at least grow a beard once to see, what you think, what it looks like. So already I'm getting input, a short beard. Okay, nothing like crazy, not like Gandalf beard. So if I look a little hobo-ish, apologies, right? I'm going to try and do something different this time and actually talk and look at the camera. So thank you for being here. Tonight's agenda is to talk about influences, musical influences. I've dubbed it Under the Influence, which I realize is probably not the best considering illegal substances and whatnot, but musical influences. So favorite bands through the years, talk about some genres, stuff like that. So thank you for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Do that dance with the like and subscribe and all that. Just a quick recap. I release weekly Goofy Shorts, YouTube Shorts, mostly Monday nights, occasionally Tuesdays, like tomorrow, since I'm doing the live stream tonight. And I release heavy rock songs, original heavy rock songs, every few months, or as much as I can. So if you like that kind of music, you're in the right spot. So, musical influences. I'm going to start with this because my coworker said this. He's a professional drummer, and when he first listened to my music, I wanted to call him out and say, "You're nuts." But he said my music sounded like, no, not nearly as good as, but he said my music sounded like Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden. I was just like, high praise, super high praise. That combination of bands is insane. And while I don't love the singing in Iron Maiden, the real high pitched kind of operatic thing, their dual guitar leads and riffs and grooves are just friggin' awesome. And while Metallica's my preference over Megadeth, Megadeth has definitely had a large influence over me too.
I assume you've got it, but sound great.
Thank you. So that was my wife Angela. She's great. But anyway, it's funny. This is kind of a side note, but it's on point. Growing up, some close friends and I, we almost had these little battles where we were either Team Metallica or Team Megadeth. And most of us, I think, sided with Metallica, but my one friend in particular was always all about Megadeth. I just think the name just turns a lot of people off. But I think Metallica, Megadeth, metal in general, people just freak out until they hear the music and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty good." But Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden. So let's go from there. Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden. So when I was growing up, I've talked about this. This is my dumb joke that if I'm ever, famous as a musician and they're like, "Oh, what was your upbringing with music and blah, blah, blah. And what kind of music did your parents listen to?" So I'll get more into my influences other than Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden being some of the big ones. But when I was growing up, it was a lot of car trips from Cleveland to Columbus and back. And my fondest memories and what I remember most listening to were the Top Gun soundtrack, Kenny Loggins, Danger Zone. So good. Top Gun soundtrack, the Andrew Lloyd Webber, greatest hits, greatest of, and the different Disney soundtracks. And then my mom's all-time favorite from forever ago, still this day, Elvis Presley. Speaking of, we took my mom for her birthday in January to an Elvis event, and it was 3 different Elvis impersonators, and one was the young guy, one was like middle-aged, one was older, different eras of Elvis, and I freaking loved it. Yeah, Kenny Loggins, yes, indeed. So the Elvis thing was great. It's funny because my wife Angela doesn't really dig Elvis, and you might be thinking, okay, you were talking about Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden, and now you're talking about Top Gun and Elvis and Disney and Andrew Lloyd Webber. I don't know, but my love of music is there, and I guess it's pretty obvious that my music would line up more with Top Gun clearly than Andrew Lloyd Webber and Phantom of the Opera and all those Cats and everything, or Disney soundtracks, but good tunes nonetheless, good melodies. But Top Gun, just the Top Gun soundtrack, if you haven't heard it, just all the way through, start it, listen to it. Doesn't matter if you like the movies, doesn't matter if you like Tom Cruise, doesn't matter. Top Gun soundtrack is friggin' phenomenal. And props to Harold Faltermeyer, who did the Top Gun anthem. He also did Axel F, that sweet keyboard synthesizer song for Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F, Axel Foley, Eddie Murphy. So good. So my mom sang, was in choirs and stuff when she was young. My dad played piano, played some drums too, actually. This is for Subaru. Played some N64, played some drums. He played drums, but he played a lot of piano, and he still does to this day. He's got a nice keyboard at his place in Florida that he still plays. He's always played stuff that's already been written. His favorites more so than composing per se, but he's had that strong musical, I don't know, liking and talent for a while. My sister plays piano, has for a long time. She dabbled in guitar with me for a little bit and got too busy and didn't want to waste my time. So, but that was really it growing up, and it was just pumping up Elvis and Disney. But I remember growing up listening to, still with my dad, I think about listening to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, the album, over and over again on repeat, painting our shed at the house. The shed and the deck, actually. Primarily the deck when I was growing up. Dark Side of the Moon, so friggin' sweet. Side note, I don't know if you've ever watched or seen the Dark Side of the Rainbow, but it is when you play Dark Side of the Moon, the album, along with Wizard of Oz, you get Dark Side of the Rainbow, and it is creepy and eerie how it lines up with certain scenes in the movie, like they were designed to be together. It's unsettling and very entertaining and awesome. But I would recommend watching Wizard of Oz its normal way first, so you can do better with all the dialogue and stuff that you won't have when you listen to it with Dark Side of the Moon. But the deal is, I always meant to do it in college, never got to do it. You start the movie, Wizard of Oz, you've got the MGM lion in the beginning, and at the third roar of the lion, as soon as that third roar comes in, you start Dark Side of the Moon, put it on repeat, and you just let the album play through. I was fortunate enough to not have to mess with that, and my friend lent me her DVD of the movie with Dark Side of the Moon baked in, so we could just play it and enjoy it. So pretty trippy, but very, very cool, especially if you like Wizard of Oz. So where was I with that? Wizard of Oz, Yeah, all that music, all that jazz. Oh yeah, Pink Floyd. Listened to a lot of Pink Floyd growing up with my dad, The Wall, and especially Dark Side of the Moon. Listen to the radio music all the time. But again, those trips anywhere, but especially Cleveland, Columbus, Top Gun, Elvis, Disney, Andrew Lloyd Webber. And to this day, I still love Elvis. I know for some he's an acquired taste, and it doesn't really make sense per se for what I do. But there's a groove to it and an attitude, and just maybe it's just I grew up with it and I loved it. So there it is, Elvis Presley, big fan. So when I was younger, it was pretty much the whole, listen to what other people listen to and just kind of get sucked into that. But I can vividly remember, like in middle school and maybe early in high school, listening to a lot of like Bush and Offspring, stuff like that. They're still around today, more Offspring than Bush. But remember, I was getting into Three Doors Down. They were coming out, and Fuel was a big band. And the band that everyone loves to hate almost as much as Nickelback, Creed. And Creed and Three Doors Down are actually doing a tour, I guess, this summer into the fall together, like the 2000 tour. I'll get to this later, but I've seen Three Doors Down and Creed in concert, both of them separately. I'm going to get into concerts later, see what you guys have seen and what you haven't seen, who you like the best in concert. But getting into, I was like 14, freshman year of high school or whatever, friends and I, we kind of simultaneously discovered Metallica, and it was when Load came out. So the much hated, loathed, despised Load album, Metallica, came out in 96, followed by Reload in 98. So like juniors or whatever then. Load was totally awesome. Dude, Mark Sims, Creed and Three Doors Down. Fantastic. It was awesome. I've actually seen Creed a few times. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but friggin' sweet. Thank you for being here. Nice. Same show. Bravo. Thank you all for being here again. So Load from Metallica came out, and it's just so funny. This is a side note, but I'll come back. I talked about in the last live show, I think, about the Metallica concerts that I've been to, and I saw them in November with one of my longest time friends, and with my wife, and with my sister, and it was incredible. But it was just nuts to see like older people that were big fans of Metallica, and then more middle-aged people like me, and then people younger than me, they're like dads, and then their kids, and they're all fans of Metallica. It's incredible. The point I'm making with that is I got into Metallica, and I had heard some of the stuff from the Black Album. That was a big breakout / sellout album that they had. And, I had heard Enter Sandman on that same friend's, Subaru's dad's stereo and tower speakers, and Enter Sandman just blew me away. Yeah, Master of Puppets, for show. Don't you worry, that'll get some love here shortly. So I heard Enter Sandman, and that was just mind-blowing at the time. It's still such an incredible song. Obviously, I've heard it a bajillion times now, but I also heard at another really good friends from when I was growing up, since second grade. I must have been in middle school, and we listened to on this crappy little stereo. I think it was on a cassette, and he played Unforgiven for me by Metallica, which is on the Black Album again, track 4. This is 4, guys. This is 4. Unforgiven. So you're welcome. Substitute Rockstar teaching here, substitute teacher. That's a 4. Unforgiven also just blew my mind. Super, super incredible song. Just deep and like had that Western kind of weirdness, and just incredible solo. But compared to Enter Sandman, it was so different. It had such a great feel. But back to like freshman year, Load came out, and I remember hearing on the radio Until It Sleeps, which I really dug. And then I think later I heard King Nothing. And it was funny because I ended up buying that album. And on the radio, it sounded cool and sounded heavy, but I bought the CD. For all those kids out there, CDs were like these circular, they're discs, like a small compact disc, like a CD. And I played that in just the fidelity on the CD versus the garbage radio was nuts. It was just so heavy when that song slammed. And it was hilarious because that album came out and people were crapping all over it, just like they crapped all over the Black Album. It's just whenever your era was, whenever your slot was to discover Metallica. So Load came out in 96, Reload came out in 98, and they were both this kind of bluesy hard rock versus their typical metal or heavy metal or thrash metal for that matter. So in that era, friends and I were discovering more music. We were discovering, Megadeth and other heavier bands and their older catalog. So when I started with Load and Reload, again, much hated albums from the purists, nothing against them, because I'll get to that. I went backwards with friends, and we went back to the original Kill 'Em All, their very first album, 83. It was a year old. Yeah, do the math. 1983, Kill 'Em All, and then Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. That's when they went into the Black Album, which was their more streamlined, mainstream type stuff that made them a household name. Load, Reload, and so on. So I actually went backwards, and to this day, my favorite two albums are Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. Why do I say that other than for my own benefit or to inform you? I think those are just what influenced my playing the most too. So whether you agree with that or not, you can tell me here in the comments or on any of my videos, music videos, they're lyric videos for the songs, but those are the ones that really stick with me the most. I've gotten into long debates with friends and Subaru about Kill 'Em All and how it's just balls to the wall thrash metal. I mean, it is just screeching, high octane, speed, just unadulterated, distorted craziness with James Hetfield at his highest pitched voice as a kid, essentially 18 years old. And I love a lot of those songs and riffs and everything. It's not my favorite. The jump from Kill 'Em All to No Leaf Clover, for sure. Thank you, Mark. That song is incredible. If you haven't heard that, I believe it's still to this day only available other than other live albums on that symphony orchestra, San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, playing with Metallica through many of their best songs. And then the orchestra kills it. But as far as I know, No Leaf Clover, it's never been on an album since. And it sounds incredible. I love that name, No Leaf Clover. It's clever. The whole song's great. So, but yeah, the point is Metallica far and away is my biggest influence for music. They're great. And I feel like if anyone's seen Office Space, it's like I celebrate their entire collection. I'm not a big Michael Bolton fan, but I'm a Metallica fan. Boom, Yellow Bacon is here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you could make it. My biggest fan. Thank you. So, yeah, Yellow, we're talking about my musical influences and discovery of Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's how that goes. But Metallica has been the biggest influence, and I've loved many. Chicken Foot, son of a. Deshaun, let's go. Chicken Foot. No, Chicken Foot. Okay, this is going to be a serious derailment. Thank you, Subaru. Chicken Foot is a grotesque aberration. That's the nerdiest way I could say that. My biggest influences are Metallica, Megadeth, and Joe Satriani. Yes, Yellow Bacon, Nirvana definitely counts as rock. Absolutely. That grunge era. I'm glad you love Metallica. It's fantastic. Buckethead is awesome too. So back to Chickenfoot, because it really Joe Satriani is an amazing, amazing virtuoso rock guitarist. If you haven't heard his stuff, check it out. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon. Joe Satriani, he goes by Satch. So if you hear me say Satch, that's him. But it's Satriani. I'm going to type it. Hopefully that's not too loud typing in there. So he is just the most fluid, melodic, incredible guitarist I've ever heard. There are many, many other amazing virtuoso guitarists out there. Tons. I mean, Paul Gilbert and Steve Vai and Marty Friedman and Neil Zaza, and the list goes forever. Andy Timmons. Did I say Yngwie? He's fast. He's super fast. But Chickenfoot was you guys have probably heard of super groups before. So think of, I don't know if you guys knew, Temple of the Dog back in the day. There was Pearl Jam and Soundgarden actually came from Temple of the Dog. Temple of the Dog, which has some really cool songs, Hunger Strike and Say Hello to Heaven, among others. Chris Cornell from Soundgarden and Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam were both in Temple of the Dog. They went off and did their own things. You have Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, more of the grunge stuff, like Yellow Bacon was talking about, Nirvana. So I love Soundgarden, so good. Anyway, it sounds off topic here, but where I'm going with this is these super groups. So after a while, if you know the band Audioslave, it was essentially Rage Against the Machine plus Chris Cornell from Soundgarden, rest in peace, Audioslave. So super groups, right? Taking band members from different groups and bring them together. I'm sorry if that was stupid loud. I was not thinking clearly. So this super group Chickenfoot is, so it's Sammy Hagar from Van Halen fame. Also, how could Van Halen not be an influence for anyone who plays guitar? Let's put that out there. Van Halen, probably my number one biggest influence to guitar. Not necessarily me, because Joe Satriani, but Van Halen's just like one of the far and away biggest influences. Jimi Hendrix, etc. So Sammy Hagar, I'm going to call him Will Ferrell. If anyone knows Will Ferrell from the movies and from Saturday Night Live, what's his name? Chad something. So essentially Will Ferrell, from Elf, plays drums. He's in Red Hot Chili Peppers, but he was also in Chickenfoot. Sammy Hagar from Van Halen. Chad Smith, thank you. Chad Smith, aka Will Ferrell, on drums. Michael Anthony, yes, bass. And then Joe Satriani playing guitar. So, dude, Revelations album, nice. Noise, Scott, noise. I was listening to that a bit too. I forgot how good that is. So you think, you're like, okay, this is great, amazing. You're like, if anyone likes chocolate peanut butter ice cream or mint chocolate ice cream, you're like, cool. Chocolate, great. Peanut butter, good. Put them together, bam, amazing. Chickenfoot, I feel like it was the four of them together. And for me, this is my personal opinion, obviously. No hate if people like it. It just fell apart completely. It just destroyed. Four coming together became like one quarter instead of becoming 12. You know what I mean? Like with everyone's powers combined. Like they'd be Captain Dumpster Fire with all their powers combined. Captain Dumpster Fire. So funny story about that. I don't know if it's funny. I bought not for them. Yeah, mint chocolate ice cream for sure. So I bought that Chickenfoot album because, like I said, I'm like, well, shoot, okay, this is cake batter ice cream with brownies in it and Oreos and chocolate syrup and chocolate sprinkles and cookie dough. Did I say that? Brownie bites. Just like, how could this be bad? And it was, because the chocolate you put in there was something else. So, turd sandwich. And I ended up taking that CD, and as kind of a joke, I gave it to Subaru for his birthday. What a great gift that was. I'm such a jerk. Yeah, it was definitely, yes. Chocolate and turkey. Oh gosh, it was. I feel like hot garbage is overused as a phrase, but it was hot friggin' garbage. And thank you guys for being here. I didn't know how many people would come out. Really appreciate it today. And in general, yes, derailing. Chicken foot. That's like, I don't know. That's just one of those words that, like, names, I just start twitching. It's just friggin' terrible. You know, we're going to do something to mix it up because I've just been talkie, which is what you do, I guess, right? Yeah, I made myself a few little questions. I want to say this first. This is really bizarre. Um, I don't know if anyone's ever done this. It's one of those dumb games. I feel like guys do this a lot, where you're like, well, would you rather your arm fall off or your ear fall off? Or would you rather, not be able to walk or not be able to talk? Dumb stuff like that. But I had this scenario that I thought about the other day. And while I would like neither, clearly, and I feel deeply for Beal in this situation, I actually thought the other day, and actually, this isn't actually typing a question, but you guys are welcome to type in the chat. I'd love to know what you think. If you had to be blind or deaf, which would it be? And I say that it's a ridiculous kind of question scenario, but I've thought about, because the gifts of sight and hearing are so incredible that I was like, how could I not want to see this world and everything it has to offer? I mean, how could I go another day without opening the camera on my phone and accidentally seeing myself with the selfie cam and almost passing out or twitching or foaming at the mouth? You know, you can learn sign language. Nice. Nice. So I actually had a really hard time with this, really hard time with this. But I don't know if I could go with just silence, with nothing but the sounds of thoughts in my head. I'm trying to make a concerted effort to look at the camera this time, by the way. It's unnatural because I want to look at the screen, but working on it. I'm looking because sight, yeah. It's very true, Yellow. It's very true. But I just think about how, like, music is food for my soul. Like, music, I mean, sight, everything in this world, but music is like a gift from God, like one that I cannot overstate. Like, if I didn't have sound and music that's just like in my soul, I don't know what I would do. Obviously, it's a ridiculous question because no one would want either of those ever. But I don't know what I would do. The point is, music is so incredibly important to me and in my life that I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. It's an incredible gift. So on that note that kind of went sad, I didn't want that per se. I'm going to do a little poll for you guys if you're interested. I think I did this before. I'm going to do a poll. Let's see. I think we did this last time, but we're going to do it. in case there's anyone else here. All right. If there are different people here than last time. So, favorite genre of music: rock, jazz, pop, country. We're going to say jazz / other because jazz is less popular, I suppose. So let's do it. Let's do it. We got a poll up there for all 6 of us or 5 of us. All right, we've got jazz other. So if you put in other, what is your favorite genre? Genre or genre? I watch a channel and they keep saying genre. It makes me want to lose my mind. It does. Genre, yacht rock. Dude, are you on a boat? I hope you're on a boat right now. Yeah, totes. All right, we have 2 votes for jazz other, 1 for rock. Nice. Yeah, same here. I wish too. Nice. I'll give it another minute or 2 on that one. I've got some other ones. But I may have mentioned this band in passing. I don't think I did. So Susu Subaru was never an athlete, and I faked it. But we actually were part of ski club for several years. And I vividly remember a friend of ours who had a driver's license before us who drove like a maniac and just like Subaru will know what I'm talking about. Like that kind of constant correction was just bonkers. Electronic. Nice. I like it. Yes. You're right. Rock is, I wanted to be inclusive. So, okay. How about that? We got a lot of votes. We're going to end that vote. I don't know. That what Pink's in. Yeah. Let's do a new one. So rock, it's tough. It's true. Nice. Witness protection. Poll. Okay. Fave rock genre. This gets tricky, honestly, because we could say like metal's a genre of rock, but kind of not really. Floppy floppies. Hey, what's up, Steph? Thanks for joining us. Yep, thank you, Yellow. You're my hero. Sorry, Steph, country blows. New country especially, bro country. No offense to anyone out there. Sorry, just not a fan. So let's see, punk rock, hard rock, pop rock. Why am I blanking? Punk rock, hard rock, alternative rock. What else would we have? Soft rock. Campy rock, punk, pop punk. How about that? We'll do that. This is clearly not an exhaustive list. So here we go. Favorite rock genre. Yeah, nice. Well done. I don't know who picked that first, but yeah. Oh no. That's all right. That's a good second choice, Steph. Yeah. Punk rock, hard rock, alternative rock. No Blink 182 fans out there, huh? Well, where I was going with before I got derailed with my own memory lane of getting, thrown around the car, friggin' Jeep Grand Cherokee. We were in ski club, and all I remember is we weren't listening to it. It's not like we had friggin' iPods, but 4 genres stuff. That's hilarious. There's so more than 4, sadly. But yeah, we were always referencing and talking about Alice in Chains. So if you like that kind of grungy, sludgy, kind of hard rock, Alice in Chains, legitness. And their vocal harmonies are just haunting and creepy, but beautiful at the same time and totally awesome. I don't even know how to sell that. I'm like, yeah, it'll freak you out. Yeah, soft rock ain't rock. Yeah, I totally agree. That was just, I panicked. Michael Bolton. Alt rock. Nice, Yellow. That'll do. So, Alice in Chains, totally awesome. Yellow mentioned Nirvana. I'm not a big Nirvana fan, but I do appreciate a lot of their riffs and a few of the songs. So, I don't really love Kurt Cobain's voice. Many of you might not like my voice on my songs. I'm not sure I do. But Nirvana, like Smells Like Teen Spirit, that's just classic riff, and honestly a big inspiration for some of my earlier stuff too. It's an awesome riff. It is. Not to mention Dave Grohl, drums from Nirvana, becoming later Foo Fighters, which, ooh, chef's kiss. And, no offense to anyone, I would take Foo Fighters over Nirvana 8 days a week. Yellow, love you, Yellow. Sorry, Foo Fighters for me. But I definitely respect Nirvana and what they did. So, shut up, Steph. It's not happening. But speaking of, upsetting people with, bands and stuff I don't like. So here we go. I'm going to get downvoted, get the anti-like. I love music in general and rock music. And I just, I have my guilty pleasure stuff, like friggin' hair metal to an extent can be so fun and great. Like I love Poison, some Motley Crue, some like Winger and like Rat weird stuff. I love Poison. It's cheesy as heck. Their outfits are ridiculous. They look ridiculous. They sound ridiculous, but it's fun and just, I don't know, it's like party music. And the lead guitars and solos from those hair metal bands are friggin' dynamite. They are so good at guitar. It's such a joke seeing them. It's ridiculous. I saw them live with Steph in 2008, saw Poison, and it was nothing but a good time. Sorry, puns are us, but it was fantastic. Grunge is grunt, like for grunge metal, grunge rock. But so I want to offend some more people here, so this is going to be good. I talk about this a lot, and I feel terrible. I'm not a big Beatles fan, and I'm not a big Led Zeppelin fan. I appreciate totally what both did for music. I would never disrespect them at all for that. Led Zeppelin, I mean, Jimmy Page, his riffs and his solos and songs are just awesome. I really don't care for Robert Plant's singing voice. I don't know. I seem to have an issue with bands with higher pitched voices. Like this is a really dumb turnaround and really, that's right, Steph. Every rose has its thorn. There's a dumb turnaround, and please don't kill me for this. I am not comparing them at all. But I liked bands like Creed more than Led Zeppelin. Not because of quality here, but I like the singers that have more of a baritone voice and less of that high tenor type voice. Like for instance, I love Dream Theater for their technicality, their progressive rock, metal, and everything, but I can't do it for the singer, sadly. John Petrucci in Dream Theater is a friggin' cyborg and just insane guitarist. And I mean, he can just rip, and just other than certain songs, it kills me. Just like I said with Iron Maiden, the vocals, AC/DC, everyone knows AC/DC. I love AC/DC just like everyone else. And friggin' Angus and Malcolm, their songs and riffs are legendary. Sorry, I had to look down. Yeah, yeah, that's a super hot take. Yeah, I would never. Yeah, I know it's stupid, but I don't know. That's why, like, the Metallica stuff when he's younger, James Hetfield's voice is a little higher. It's not as great as I'd like, but I mean, I listen to a lot of crazy metal and just other than the screaming and eating babies and that stuff, there's a lot of that kind of high pitched stuff that I can't really do. Let's talk about AC/DC, Angus and Malcolm Young, and just guitar riff after guitar riff, incredible solos, incredible talent. Um, Amazing, but just that voice, you have to like be in the mood for it. Then again, I love Guns N' Roses, and then Axl Rose is kind of an acquired kind of taste too. So this is where I drop lots of hot takes and just get totally destroyed in the comments if people stumble upon this later. So I'm going to jump into this. Some guilty pleasures I mentioned with Poison and whatnot. I used to be such a stickler and like a metalhead or whatever, as people use derogatorily. Is that a word? In a derogatory fashion, in a negative way, derogatorily. Anyway, sorry, my brain just flipped out. Nice, Scott. Yeah, those AC/DC bass parts. Simple is good, but maybe not that simple. But I used to be, really stuck and set in my ways. And I still am to certain degrees, that's my wife. But with music, in high school, it was just like, it was all hard rock, it was all metal, it was just, that was it. And like everything else was garbage. And I think we all kind of do that to an extent. I still do, apparently. I'm crapping on legendary bands. But as I've gotten older, I do appreciate a wider, gamut of different styles and genres. I am really to the point that if it's an incredible beat or really cool hook or beautiful, interesting melody or just crushing riff, amazing vocals. Yeah, that voice though, exactly. Any of it could really be game. So I'm really not a country fan. I never have been. But there are some guys in country that can just rip too. And like, think about like Keith Urban. I've heard a few of his songs that are just, he's an incredible guitarist. It's not just your standard bro country stuff. Axl's far more tolerable. Yeah. Thin Axl or Fat Axl? But I'm much more open to other genres now. And I mean, I really like the new stuff that's come out. Some of the electronic stuff and even dubstep and I don't know, chill step or whatever random names they are. I sound like an old man because I am. But the point is I'm open to more, but my bread and butter is still, really just into the rock stuff. But I have a soft spot for certain pop artists and stuff, which I'm afraid to say, but regardless of your thoughts on pop music or certain pop artists, their production value and just the sheen, just the clarity, the crispness, just the mixes, the mastering on some of those pop albums are just phenomenal. Just so good. And they just sound great. And there are lots of garbage artists and bands out there, songs, but it's great. There's stuff to own them. But I've read studies, not read the whole studies. I've read snippets and heard things about these studies that makes total sense to me. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about this one. Al Jackson. They say that, the music, your formative years in forming your taste in music essentially primarily is in high school years, which I could see that it makes sense. And that kind of transcends time and goes with you as you're older. So to this day, Metallica and hard rock and stuff is still my favorite. But I mean, new bands come out that I really learned to love too. So, but I'm curious, do you guys still prefer and or listen to? Here, I'll do a little poll. Why not? Oh, I have to close the other one. Do you still prefer primarily listen to the same music as when you were in high school? Yes, no, some of both. Boom. So let's do that little poll. So I'm really curious. I'm going to do another fun poll later that I already thought about. See what people think. Wow. Okay, maybe I'm partially wrong. It's funny though. I have to be in the mood. But just to clarify from earlier, I mentioned Metallica. Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets are my favorites. Ride the Lightning is probably my favorite. Master of Puppets is really freaking close. But the sound, they're just in my brain forever. So look at that. All right. Thank you for the votes there, guys. So some of both. Cool. I like it. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I only listen to Metallica now, but I think that genre type of music is just stuck in my head. And just, that's kind of stuff I like. Which is funny because then the young people today, it's all about rap and hip hop and trap. And I don't get it because I'm old and I like instruments and I like guitars. So any music that doesn't have a guitar of some sort in it automatically gets a downvote for me. I don't cast it out completely. I'm just saying that I really like having the live musical instruments, guitar in it. So, all right, so let's see. Guilty pleasures. Yeah, Poison. Yeah, I don't even know if I can mention some stuff, but I remember I left out some bands that are just incredible and have totally shaped me and just even in the background. So I mentioned AC/DC and Van Halen and Pink Floyd. Queen. All right, if anyone jumps on here and says Queen is not good, then we'll all lose our minds. Ha! That's right, Steph. Yeah. My sister was big on, Steph was big on Spice Girls and NSYNC, get it? And Backstreet Boys and all that. I was like, no. Here you go, real music, Metallica. So she actually went with Subaru and my wife Angela and I to see Metallica not once but twice in November, and it was incredible. So Queen. My dad had a place, and we would go and hang out at his house and play pool just every week for hours. And our primary choice to listen to was Queen. Just how many amazing songs does Queen have? It's insane. They are so incredible, have such amazing stuff. And I love that I'm going slightly mad. It's fantastic. And I was listening to, this actually came up on my Spotify randomly earlier today working. It was the Flash song by Queen. If you want a good laugh, look up Flash by Queen. It is legitness. And also, I don't know if anyone's into semi-obscure old action movies, but the Highlander movies, which I guess they're actually going to remake with Henry Cavill, who was Superman and then The Witcher. So that's a shoe-in from The Witcher to Highlander. But Highlander is that series where it's all these guys that live forever. They're eternal. They fight with swords. The idea is there can be only one, so they have to fight each other And in order to actually kill another Highlander, you have to decapitate them. You got to kill them. There can be only one. So the point of that is Queen did a song for that show called Princes of the Universe. And it is amazing. I friggin' love that song. It's so good. Check it out. Princes of the Universe, Highlander. Also, in that show, but in general, Who Wants to Live Forever? So good. And it's nice. Yellow's back. Yes, Eruption. Woo! Rap and trap and crap. That's not real music, pervy. Yeah. But Queen's one of those bands that I feel like they release so many different songs and types of songs with different types of feel and speed and crunch and rock and pop and just weirdness and theatrics and just sorry, I got distracted. Rap's just poetry to a beat. If the poet's bad, the song is bad. Yeah, I can see that. But Queen is incredible, and oh man, so good. Oh snap! Thank you, Yellow. No, Aerosmith. You were living on the edge, waiting for me to say that. Yellow, good point. Dream On. We're not talking about them. Boo. Aerosmith is great. I was a big fan of them back in the day, and just same old song and dance. Dream On, of course. Yeah. Sweet Emotion. Yeah. Angel and Crazy and Don't Want to Miss a Thing. But yeah, Aerosmith, thank you, Yellow. Aerosmith is legendary. They're great. I actually saw them live. Dude, Eat the Rich. Yes. I'm just picturing that album. I can't remember what the album was called, but it just had the cow udders on it, and then like the udders were pierced or something. It was weird. But yeah, Aerosmith, legit. And they're so good. I saw them once when I was in college. Friends and I went and saw them, and they were on stage, and we were pretty far away in the lawn. And then they actually came out on a smaller, little stage really close to us, and it was friggin' awesome. It was totally awesome. Living on the Edge. I don't know what the SG is. I think that's Edge. That's good. So I'm going to give a shout out to this band because they deserve it. Collective Soul. Collective Soul has so many friggin' good songs, and I think they are an underappreciated band. I think you could easily pull up Collective Soul and you would probably know at least half of their top 10, maybe 15 of their top 15 songs. They have such catchy good songs, great melodicism, just really good songs, really good tunes. Gel, heck yeah. Gel is amazing. Yeah. That's like if a chicken got a hold of an instrument. I don't know. December, heavy, boom. Yeah. December, Ridic. Yes, indeed. Collective Soul, seriously, they deserve a shout out. I'm pretty sure I have every one of their albums. I saw them live once in college again, in like a gymnasium, and the sound was friggin' awful. It was in like a college basketball court or something, it sucks because they deserve much more, but they're an incredible band. So, gonna go to this one now. One of these gets high billing and high praise. The other one, semi-honorable mention. My favorite modern rock band, modern meaning 2000 to now, is far and away Shinedown. I actually made Angela, my wife, a convert, when we started dating, 2011, 2012. And we actually saw them in concert in September with Papa Roach opening and Spirit Box. get back to that one. But Shinedown, ever since their first album, when it was like 2001 or something, might have been in college, but their first album, Leave a Whisper, till now have just been bangers, as the kids say. I can't do that without laughing. They're bangers. But that first album, incredible. Their second album with that was okay, but pretty much every album since, I think I like every track. Every track. I mean, there's you friends out there that know what CDs are still. Young folks don't buy many CDs. You'd get hosed, you'd get burned. You'd hear a great song on the radio. I know, what's the radio? You'd go buy their CD, and that would be the only good song on the album. And you're just like, well, I just blew $12 to $20 on this CD that's hot garbage. Shinedown for me, I mean, they've evolved and stuff over time, and their last two albums have been a little more electronic-y, especially the second to last. But they just, time and again, I didn't love them at first, but time and again, they kill it. So they don't need an introduction. They don't need fans or money. But Shinedown for me is like a hard rock band, rock. They're definitely not metal, but hard rock band. For my money, Shinedown is where it's at. So highly recommend them. The last two albums took a while for me to get used to them because they were so different, but now I love them to pieces. Speaking of that concert, Angela and I it's sad, had not been to a concert together until this past year, which is ridiculous, but we're also cheap. So we saw Metallica in November, I said twice, that weekend. We saw Shinedown in September. And Papa Roach opened, and I don't know if I talked about this in the first live stream a month ago, but Papa Roach was actually more entertaining and more energetic, sadly, than Shinedown. Shinedown put on a really good show, don't get me wrong. It just, Papa Roach kind of stole the show. And Spiritbox, I think was their name, opened. And nothing against Spiritbox. They actually have some really cool music. The female lead singer has a really good voice, but she's one of those that have somehow learned how to and leaned into the whole, oh, and I kind of lose interest and want to grab earplugs when that happens. But the stuff around that, their songs are really good. What was baffling to me is that band was invited to go on tour with Shinedown and Papa Roach. So I was just like, it's like kind of mainstream rock with metal with a female eating children and then growling. It was bizarre. But what I thought was interesting is that, I mean, they put on a really good show, and the lead singer came out, toward the end and just said, like, thank you for being open-minded about our music. That's, obviously it was so different. I thought that was really cool because it was a great billing to show off their music to a much greater audience, but it really was, I feel like it'd be like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of another example, like Garth Brooks and then like Def Leppard or something. It's a terrible example. But it's really good. So I wanted to mention, it's my honorable mention. I've been to a lot of concerts. I've been meaning to really take note and take stock of all the bands that I've seen. And Susu Subaru, his list would absolutely dwarf mine, like just totally destroy it. I've seen so few bands compared to him, and I've seen quite a few back in the day. But my very first concert, I was telling my boss about this, who's in a band himself, but I was telling him my first actual concert that I call is Smashing Pumpkins when I was 13 or 14 with the band Garbage opening for them. And I went with my good buddy Ben from childhood. My dad took us, and he really dug Garbage, but Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah, I'm getting to that, Sue. Thank you. The first concert that I went to that counts is Smashing Pumpkins with Garbage opening. The first concert I went to with my mom and dad and sister was Amy Grant. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Amy Grant. I mean, she was good, don't get me wrong, for what she was. It's just not a rock show, which is again why I had to take Angela to Metallica, because you've not seen a rock show or metal show until you've seen Metallica, because it is nuts, especially when you're in an arena with about 70,000 other people just as amped as you are, no pun intended. So, but Smashing Pumpkins and Garbage. So here's a funny, dumb story that I friggin' love. So we were at the Smashing Pumpkins concert, and if you've ever been to a concert or just know about things, you'll know that concerts are loud, like stupid loud, really loud. Like if you don't already, I highly recommend you wear ear protection every time you go, whether or not you're into music or not. I've caused my own ear damage playing guitar in front of an amp like a dingus, but I wear earplugs at all the concerts. So I might look like a nerd, but I can still hear. So the point of that is Ben and I are watching the concert. My dad's beside us, and these two in front of us, I think it was two girls, turn to us. And what I thought I heard them say was, "Do you want some pot?" I'm like, "No, I don't want some pot. My dad's right here. Are you kidding me? What is going on right now?" And then the girl is like, she pulls up a cotton ball and pulls it apart to put in her ears. She was offering me cotton balls and Ben and my dad cotton balls to rip apart to use as makeshift earplugs. So yeah, they were not offering me pot in front of my dad. They were trying to save our hearing. So it's totally ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is now, let's see. How about this? Please write in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Yola. I didn't know if anyone even heard that. I was like, I thought it was funny. Pot? My dad. No? Oh, okay. Perfect. I'd like you to write in the chat box, please, the first concert they ever attended, even if it's lame like mine with Amy Grant. First concert you ever attended. I'm working on a new poll. Don't you worry. Not looking at my fantasy football that I don't have. Was that was your first one? Subaru? Are you for real? Dude, wish I could go back in time. It's all downhill from there. In the meantime, you've seen, I don't know, 8,000 concerts. And Yellow. Man. Oh, nice. El Nino. Woo! Yeah, yeah. For those that don't know, SCXCR and I were in a band together friggin' 20 years ago. And we played 2 shows at Peabody's in downtown Cleveland. Yeah, and Suzu Subaru was there too. Played 2 shows. It was great. Yeah, the one show had El Nino and like 2 other rock bands that were not massive, but were big enough that I knew of them in the other room. So that was pretty cool. I think I need to look for that ticket because I think those bands were on there too. It was El Nino and I'd have to look it up. But yeah, in Yellow, It's okay. You'll get there. I don't know how old you are. You got time. You got time. You got to do it. Um, Especially if you get in a smaller venue. Like I remember I saw Disturbed for free because a friend won. No, I won tickets. I never win anything ever. There could be a raffle with one people. One people? I swear this is water. I could be in a raffle with one person, me, and still lose. I'm convinced. I have the worst luck ever. This one day, I was driving, listening to the radio, and it was like 11:30 in the morning. And they, said, call in for tickets to see Disturbed. Called in, friggin' won. It was nuts. So I took a friend. We were at the House of Blues in Cleveland. It was a really small place. It was awesome because you're up close and personal. Totally awesome. I'd recommend something small like that, Yellow. That'd be awesome. Or you could just dive into the deep end and go to like Metallica in an arena with 70,000 people. Bonkers. So here's a new poll for you based on that. Let's see. This is getting a little too granular, I suppose, but let's see. I have to be in 16 plus, I would think, at this point. Like I seriously have to make a list because I don't know. What about fests? Do festivals, does that count as multiple concerts or is that just one concert? Huh. So I saw the band Lit one time at a festival. You know that My Own Worst Enemy? Yeah, that's it. So Aerosmith, Poison, Journey. Here's another one for you. If you have a story, put one in the chat about a ridiculous concert scenario. So here's another one. I saw Journey again when I was in college. I don't know where I got this money from. Anyway, I had a part-time job, but come on. Saw Journey and, Journey, friggin' amazing. Don't Stop Believing. They had their replacement singer or whatever for a while. I don't even know what his name was, but he was sprawled out on top of this like grand piano on the stage for this one song. And throughout the course of the show, he got sweatier and sweatier. But he just had these giant like ovals right over his chest. It was the most ridiculously preposterous looking thing I've ever seen. We couldn't stop laughing like children. That might have been it. But he just like, it was this like white spandex-y type shirt, that no one should wear. And then just like straight up sweet sweat stains. I mean, it was hot. It was so bad. It was so bad. Yeah. So Greg's a 16 plus easily. Greg, you're probably freaking 50 plus. What am I talking about? That's awesome. Thank you for answering on that. So how about this one? How many concerts, fave genre? How about this one? We're going to do this. Yngwie Malmsteen. My Yngwie Malmsteen, if you guys don't know Yngwie Malmsteen, he's another like virtuoso guitarist for like shredder, just stupid fast, thinks he's God's gift to the planet, God's gift to guitarists. And I walked into one of his shows with a friend from college. We were in there for 5 or 10 minutes. We'd paid to go in, obviously, and just walked out. It was just screeching, searing, insane, massive strings of notes. It was unreal, and we couldn't handle it. So we just walked out. It was terrible. Let's see. How about this one? Here's a poll. Have you ever traveled from your home, city, or state for a concert? How about that? Make this one real easy. Yes or no? Noise. Shirley Manson is incredible. Man, Garbage is awesome. They have a great, great sound. Yes. What could go wrong with that? Speaking of this, it's full circle this because I always talk about this. If you've not seen the YouTube video of the guy doing karaoke for Down with the Sickness by Disturbed, you owe it to yourself to watch it. But if you don't know the song, you definitely need to listen to the song first, just the intro, and then go watch it. Because it is fantastic. It is karaoke at its finest. You got to go for it when you're up there, and he did not. So, but kudos to him because it takes guts to sing karaoke. So how about this? In lieu of a poll, okay, 4 votes, yes and no. Nice. In the chat, please. What is the best concert you've ever seen? And if you can remember or can think of it, what year was it that you went? Or like maybe what album was it in support of? That's awesome. That's awesome. My glasses. That's freaking fantastic. Yeah, best concert. And that one's tough for me because the concert, it could be based on who's with you. You know, it like just the memory of it. Was it that good or was it the memory of it that was that good? You know what I mean? Dude, yeah. Because I'm thinking the last time I saw Metallica prior to November was on New Year's Day. New Year's Day 2000. Friggin' Rush. Yeah, Susu Subaru has seen Susu Subaru has seen a ridiculous amount of concerts. Just he is a connoisseur. Rumor has it he's going to see someone who's not very hard rock, metal, rock and roll soon. I'll let him divulge if he wants to say. DJ Luigi, nice. But yeah, Metallica, New Year's Day, 2000, with like 5 to 7 other dudes in my mom's minivan going to the Gund. Just legendary. And to make it even better, I think Kid Rock opened. So that made it so much better. So much better. Friggin' Kid Rock. Ba what a ba. Ba what a bad. Oh boy. Let's save that. Let's see. Personal favorite artist. Trying to see what else I wanted to talk about here. Let's see. Yeah, that show is friggin' phenomenal. And honestly, Subaru, that it could have been terrible, but just the whole surrounding scenario was so good with such amazing people on New Year's Day of 2000. Like, I don't know how it could be bad, but it was incredible. It was totally incredible. So how about this? Opening acts. Sorry, Subaru. Opening acts. Do you care? Do you always get there? Or do you just show up for the main act and then the one you primarily paid to see? So we're going to say, let's do that. Keep it simple. Opening acts, yes or no? Do you care? Do you make it a point to be there for them? Do you screw over your friends because you interpret the schedule wrong and they don't get to see the band that they're hoping to see? This is all just theoretical. Never happened. I like it too. It's kind of like it's kind of like movies. Not that I go to the movies that much anymore because I friggin' can't stand people and how rude they are. But anyway, it's like when you go to a movie and sometimes the previews can actually be better than the movie you paid to see, or at least more exciting to get you to go back. But it's a good way to discover some bands too. So that's cool. Let's see. I have a few more here. Let's see what makes it good. Okay, gonna do two more. At least two more. What is most important to you in music? Alice Cooper. Dude. What is most important to you for music? Or in music? Is it the music, lyrics, vocals? So for music that you like or could potentially like when you hear it the first time or sixth time, do you like, what's most important to you? Is it the music? It sounds kind of obvious, but still, is it the music? Is it the lyrics and like the vocals that are most important to you? Or is it both? I set myself up for that one. It's the easy answer. I should have forced it. Should have been music or vocals, not both. So I'm going to go on my hate rants again. I say this all the time. I've had Spotify for like 12 years, and they always do their, Discover Weekly and Release Radar of stuff that, hey, you like this stuff, so we're going to show you this stuff. And then 29 out of 30 songs are just not at all what I want, and I don't save them to my life like songs. So I listen to many songs. I hate it that there's like these death metal songs that could have these incredibly beautiful melodic instrumentals, crazy lead guitar, like solos, beautiful, and then a minute in, it's just, or stuff like that, and it kills me. I'm gonna stand up here and ask about current day music too, because I kind of have a beef with. I think I mentioned this in the last live stream, but I'm just a cranky old man with a microphone. But a lot of modern day metal and stuff doesn't really do it for me. But a lot of modern day music in general, it's kind of meh. But nice music. Thank you. I can be pretty close-minded in general, but with music. But I think there is a lot of talent out there. But man, I feel like there's a lot of just not good. But I love that anyone and everyone puts out music, and the barrier to entry these days is so low. I just hope that my songs at some point don't fall into the lowest of the low, even if they don't reach the top echelons of the greats of old. All right, y'all. Okay. What if there aren't lyrics? Vocals without lyrics? Don't do that to me. Don't do that. It could just be humming and stuff. And I realized in the background there, I left my little whiteboard upside down. I was working with my partner in crime on the song, getting our song structure nailed down. So sorry, Dino. Sorry, Immortal Warfare. It's valid, Yellow. And I go back and forth. I feel like lyrics themselves won't ruin a song for me most of the time. The vocals can blow it for me, like I said, with friggin' Iron Maiden and stuff. But the music will carry the song for me most of the time. But if it has both and they're both incredible and meaningful, yeah, all the way for sure. So let's see. So let's do this. Do one more poll. I'm going to do, nice, 4 votes. Start a poll. Music today. All right, we'll do that. It's a really lazy, crappy way to type that. Cool. I dig it. Cool, Yellow. Thanks. It's weird because it's so much easier to release music now too, that the percentage of good to bad, there's not really as much of a filter too, and it depends on what you land on. And I think that there's a lot of music that doesn't jive with you. That doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. And there's a lot of music that just never gets heard and gets dumped in a pile. I mean, that's honestly one of my struggles, and a lot of other people that make music, is how do you get your songs heard when, I don't even know what the latest stat was. It's something stupid like 20,000 or 60,000 songs a day are uploaded to Spotify and Apple Music. Like it's bonkers. And shame on me, because I never want to crap on anyone for releasing music. And what I don't like, someone else may love. I'm just grateful that there's a place to and tools to be creative in this day and age. So the struggle is just finding the people that like your music, or insisting that your friends and family listen to your music regardless. Stuff like that. Yeah, that's fair, Yellow. And I think that's exactly the problem that's just kind of inherent to people that are older. Yeah, cultural shifts. That's very good. It's just what I like and liked is what is good, and anything that comes after it because of that is bad. And it's not this or that. So I'm glad you say that, because it's a good talking point. And there was bad music released back in the day, and there will be bad music released tomorrow and today. Bad. But at a fundamental level, if it's just a way to express yourself and or just share an idea with the world, I think it's wonderful. It's great. Even if I get on my high horse and I say, oh, there's no guitar or whatever, but music hits you in the feels, and that's what counts. So I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to land the plane, as they say. We went longer than last time, but I was enjoying chatting with all of you. So I thank you so very much for being here. I hate this crap. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. But no, thank you for being here. Like, subscribe. Can have a new song in the next month or two. Yellow, you're the best. I'm hoping I would love to say by the end of March, probably in April, working with Scott, my partner in crime, on this song. So yeah, tomorrow there will be a new short. In case anyone sees this later, I'm releasing weekly shorts, mostly on Monday nights around 6:30. Since I did the thing tonight, the live stream, I'm doing a little short tomorrow. Hopefully you'll like it. Please let me know in the comments too. Yellow said some stuff about kind of combining some Mortal Kombat and X-Men that I'm toying with. Don't get old, people. Life gets in the way. But yeah, the shorts. Thanks for being here with the live stream. Subscribe, and new song coming. Thank you again. Peace out.